Hi, I'm still alive. I know that stream ended kind of abruptly. Hi, I'm still alive. I realize that stream ended rather abruptly. Um, I mean, I kind of, I want support, but I don't know what else to say. I should probably start at the beginning. So, I had definitely written off a lot of my dubiously born in reality experiences back in 2016-ish, and I was just kind of like silent on them for a couple of years. And I'm sorry, I'm kind of like I'm almost in a mood where I want to entertain. But I'm going through a lot. I This is the worst case scenario. I think I'm kind of in shock, honestly. I There's someone coming down my street, like, driving really slowly. Okay, they sped up again. Yeah, that wasn't weird. Um, but yeah, I was basically just kind of like, hey, I'm gonna keep kind of quiet, and I'm gonna let the people I know closest to me, like, hey, I'm still involved with people that may or may not be real. Um, take that as you will. It doesn't harm anything. So, you know, And, reality and people have shown me time and time again that fantasy is just kind of better. Like, you heard the exchange in the last video, yeah? Like, does that sound like I want to be raw dogging reality? Does that seem like I want to be, like, experiencing this at all? So, when I met one of my other partners, I don't I don't want to like trash them with like a name or anything, but I'm trying to decide what to call them. This. No. Darkling. Okay, Darkling. When I first met Darkling, um, he, sorry. They told me about like multiple experiences they had had with like the same sort of thing where like people that they didn't know were real and other planes. Because I mean there is weird shit going on too. Like I accidentally broke the same teacup twice. I lost like the same lipstick twice. It's weird. You could like fucking ask me about more details, but like oh, and Joan Rivers died twice. Joan Rivers fucking died twice. I saw her announcement once, and I was really sad because I wouldn't see her on Fashion Police anymore. And then, like, I saw her live on Fashion Police, was really fucking confused, and then she died again in the news like 6 months later. I was really confused. But, yeah, Joan Rivers died twice. I had to live through that twice. But, Yeah, so the point is, like, this new partner and the Manimal were very much just kind of like, no, we experience it, the same things. There are different worlds other than ours. Like, um, like, I believe you on my 25th birthday. My partner and I, like, I was drunk. He had gummies. Like, I got high too. And he took my hand and, like, stepped me through the process of, like, visiting one of the people that I thought wasn't real while they were sleeping. Um, that meant to be more like of a romantic moment rather than like a creepy one. Sorry to anyone listening. And like, I even called out to this partner, and like they kind of like rose, and I still don't know if it was like a weird trip or hallucination, but I was very much just like, oh wow, I've kept this my dirty secret for so long. I like I felt immense relief. Just someone else knowing, and knowing what it was like too, because they've had to hide things, they've had to like humanize things for therapists and all that, and that was one of the main reasons that I really wanted to move in. I was just like, holy shit, you know what it's like. I want to move in like fucking now. I mean, it was more than a new relationship. Euphoria. It was like, holy shit, like I found my brethren, and there's all sorts of things involved. So much backstory that would be infringing on their privacy, and personally, I don't want to do that. I didn't. And despite what they're probably thinking right now, I didn't go live to hurt them. It was mainly to protect myself because honestly, I was scared to come home from the get go. I. But yeah, and the closer I came with the both of them, the partner, the animal, they were just kind of like, oh yeah, I see the same things. I know exactly what you're talking about. I was like, yes, please. Like, you know, validate this for me. And then they also told me that like they met the other people too. They met the people that I thought were not real, that I had been like kind of mourning most of the time. They'd formed relationships with other people. They've like talked without me even knowing. I wasn't having to like pass messages anymore. Like it really was just profound relief. Like a weight had gotten off my chest. And there was a particular like, you remember in the last video when I said that like my ex tried to make it seem like they would either kill most of my friends or like turn them against me? Well, I found it happening again because my minimal got involved with someone else they had met on Facebook. Actually, the greatest irony is through me. They met them through me. And I hate that fact. I really, damn, I do. And they met through me, and like I had noticed that like people were more easily agitated towards me, that people were like accusing me of random things, that people would like invite me to like video chat and then like forget that that had even happened. There was like a common area that was randomly, so at this point we had all decided we would move in together. We already had like the house picked out. It was going to be this great place with like an attic and everything, and like the common area was supposed to be like, the attic was supposed to be like this nice chill place where we'd all have like cocktails and shit and like tea and just chill. And like I got this message. No, I was scrolling down Facebook, and the partner of my minimal was just kind of like, oh yeah, I'm having like, trouble moving into the attic. And I was just kind of like, I started freaking out because it felt like I didn't exist anymore. Like, just because these people were on the other side of the computer and I was on the other side of mine, and there was like, it felt like I was only text, I was only literature. Really, just like my ex had convinced me. So, like, I had like a freak out, and I was just kind of like, I can't believe like a new roommate is taking over a common area. Like, why was this not discussed? Like, this is fucked. And it ended up like a couple of times, like, I would try to like video chat with this partner, and then apparently the partner had to like get off of a video chat to go pick up the other partner, their minimal's partner, their minimal. And like this minimal was like so fucked up that he like needed someone else to like wipe him. Oh yeah. I Tanya, yes, I'm sorry. Um I've been having a mental breakdown and probably have been abused for many months. So like I was saying, like yeah, like had to wipe him like like the my partner's minimal had gotten like so fucked up that he needed to wipe. Yeah, I and like I led him up the stairs and everything. I'm just kind of like, I know this partner's supposed to be like traumatized coming in. I know very well what coming up in an abusive relationship is like, but this is like fucked. And then I realized how fucked in May of 2019. It's actually the same week that the famous beach photo was taken. But that very night that the beach photo was taken, the partner of my metamal, I basically like called them and was very much just kind of like, I've been triggered. Um, you left me here all alone. How like, you went on vacation all without me. You knew I couldn't do this day by my own. It's my trauma anniversary, but I've never told you about it before. Like shit like that. And then it devolved. It lasted 4 hours, I swear to God. Because my partner and I went out for like just a bit over to a bar, and then like we got back, and my minimal and their partner were like talking, and like the toxic partner was just basically like, "Oh, I may have taken something, I may have not. I don't know. And being very just kind of like, you don't know what it's like to go through what I did, and I'm all alone." And like the other partner is like, sorry, I have birds. They're confused at the fact that it's day when it's 9. It's a minute after at 9:10. I'm not gonna say the time. But yeah, and like the other, like my animal was like begging over the phone, like just fucking begging, like please do not, like I will spend like a grand more to get myself down there to like, because they were in Savannah, Georgia, and this other partner was like in Rochester, New York at the time. The my minimal was like offering to send this person like relatives, people that could look after them, people that would just like even take give them company. And this person was just kind of like, oh no, like, I took something. I don't know if I'm gonna be okay. I don't know. And my metamal, who is is one of my best friends to me. They probably hate me after this. They've probably hated me since March. I don't like their bearing on me is not. It doesn't matter as to how I feel about them. But my poor animal was sitting there like crying, shaking over the phone. They also at the time had an infection and was already fucking sick. Like that pissed me off the most. And we had to like give them medicine. We sent them home on the actual date that they were supposed to go home. They didn't end up spending like a grand more to come home. And, they had to get on a plane. They flew to Buffalo, which is like 3 hours away from Rochester or something. Uh, and then this partner who was supposed to pick them up was just kind of like, oh yeah, I took a sleeping pill. I can't pick you up anymore. Too bad that you're sick. By the way, I made this thing for you. Sorry I couldn't be there for your special day because it was the Metamole's birthday. And so I was like, holy shit, this person's abusive. And when we tried to tell the Metamol this, like, hey, this person is abusive. Hey, this person took themselves hostage fucking 4 hours. And then this Metamol was just like, no, I want to marry them. I'm like, what? And like my partner, the one who's dating them, was like on the phone with them, like just hysterical for like an hour, just kind of like, no, what are you saying? Like, you've met this person like fucking 4 months ago. Like, what? And the Metamol wasn't listening, and I just remembered the control that my ex said that they had among like some of my friends that, may or may not have been real. And so I'm just kind of like, hey, this is like a thing. I've seen this happen before. The way they're being like so vague and so like unwilling to talk about it, I feel like it's like an effect. I feel like it's a curse. I feel like I kept saying like this has happened before. I've seen it before. And it's like what? And so I was just kind of like, I don't know. Like, I feel like this person is kind of like possessed by like whatever charisma or like cult mentality that my ex used to have, just by like random coincidence. Because like this person even dyed their hair the same color that my ex's hair was for a while. So I was like traumatized because I'm like, this is an abusive person that uses suicide as like a threat, like my ex used to, and is suddenly like really trying to look like them. And so I'm just very much just like, my ex is possessing this person, obviously. And I mean, it was one of my theories because I'm just kind of like, hey, maybe this person's also toxic. Like, maybe this person will like grow out of it. But I was also just like kind of hoping for the possessed theory because like it also meant that as soon as we solve it, why just like talking about it, making sure it's known, kind of like exercising this person a bit. I'm like, maybe it's just not the real person and we can know the real person behind all of that awfulness. And that's what I was hoping. That's what I meant it to be. And so eventually, and like the penance kept going on and on. Like we would go to the bar, they would like this person I thought was possessed by my ex because honestly they kind of acted like it. Um, they would like freak out and like run away, and they'd scrape like their palm and scream like I see bone when it's literally like just a scrape, like shit like that. And I was very much like, yeah, no, fuck this. And I was pretty like, and so I basically was just kind of like, hey, I feel like eventually in October, it was October, I told my metamour, I'm like, hey, I've done doing some research into, your partner's life. I've tried Googling things. It doesn't come up right. Like, could it be that your partner doesn't really know what's going on? Could it mean that, like, they have this delusion from trauma? Because, obviously I'd be the fucking expert of that, yeah? Um, and then they were just kind of like, no, I agree. And in particular, this person seemed to be lying about a twin they had that had, like, killed themselves, but then we'd never seen proof, like, anything of the sibling of theirs that killed themselves. And so, my metamol was like, oh, hey, their birth certificate would list them as a multiple. Like, yeah, actually, yeah, like, go ahead. I got home. It was after, like, we went to a goth club in town. We went to the fucking Vertex. And, we, like, and I was dead tired by the time I got home. Like, I had worked the morning shift that morning, and I had to be, like, at work at 7. I was dead fucking tired. And I was like, yeah, you go ahead. I'll sleep in the bedroom. And then the next thing is that they're like waking me up and telling me like a whole bunch of details that this person lied about as far as like their past. I'm not gonna be specific. I'm not gonna be that asshole. I'm sure those listening on my feed probably expect me to, but there was documentation that this Minimal, the same one who had threatened suicide to like my best friend for hours, had been lying. And so we all confronted this person and was just basically like, hey, you hold the room hostage. This is fucked. You need to not. And they like eventually broke down like, oh yeah, the lies are just kind of like a soothing thing I used to tell myself, which again, I related to personally because I might be a delusional twat. Who the fuck knows at this point? One of my supposed imaginary friends apparently bought me a $700 violin. I think everyone needs imaginary friends at that fucking point. Anyway. Anyway. I'm sorry, I got too fucking snarky. Let's see the comments. I hate this fucking new live setup, by the way. Hello, Charlie. I am in fact not okay at all. But I'm like safe. Like no one call the crisis line, please. I'm good ish. I'm just not it's yeah, it's a thing. Um so this toxic person that I had known like seemed to be getting better. Like they had like episodes afterwards, I think everyone does, but like this person was also coming from like a really toxic ex. Which again, I definitely know about. So, I'm sorry, I keep losing my train of thought. So, a couple of months went by pretty well. I mean, think about my partner and I, like, I was struggling with PMDD. I was struggling with a whole bunch of other things. I was struggling with even the fact of giving up my entire life, like everything that I had built up in Savannah for, like, this idea of family that they had presented to me, like, this idea of, like, this partner like wanted to marry me. The man that you heard yelling at me in the last video had promised had like promised me forever and to marry me. And like that's hurt that's just not going away. So after that all calmed down, I noticed that they started inviting like a friend. Yeah, I'll fucking name her actually because fuck it. Her name is Zara. I was like an old friend that everyone had known, and like the thing is, I'm not even that social, but they were inviting her over like every fucking weekend. Like it was every weekend, and the thing is too, like she didn't even let me know when she was coming over. She was just here, and she would spend like 3 days in my living room. I'm not that social of a person. I was like perturbed. And each time too, like everyone was just kind of like, oh yeah, this new person. I'm like, hey, I also helped untangle a whole mess when I got here. This was supposed to be like my new beginning. And everyone, for some reason, was like, let's be obsessed with this friend. It was probably only my point of view at the time. Um, but I started like remembering how everyone just kind of like forgot about me back when like my Minimal's partner was acting up, and I was like, hey, maybe it's the same curse again, like maybe my ex is fucking me up again. And at first everyone was just like so angry, and I'm like, no, I'm not saying this person is toxic, but like the fact that they're over every weekend, the fact that you gave them a key to the house without me even consenting to it. Yeah, no, that happened. I have trauma issues. You can't just give friends of yours keys to the house. That's fucked. So, yeah, and I was very much just kind of like, oh, maybe it's kind of like the same thing.
This is coming
And
straight from Sage. You need to get the fuck off Facebook Live right now. How dare you? Turn it off. Turn it off and come here. Come out here.
I'm not
face to face.
coming out.
And I don't want you to be recording me because I had no idea that you were doing that.
I told you I didn't want to talk, and that was.
Me. I had to find out on Facebook.
I told you I didn't.
No, you didn't. You did not tell me that you were recording that.
No, I told you I couldn't talk right now.
No, but you didn't tell me that you were recording. That's different. That is omission of the truth. And that's a lie. So you lied to me again.
I didn't lie to you.
Yes,
I was
you did.
scared of you.
Get off Facebook Live. Don't you dare drag my friends or who have done nothing but try their fucking best.
And shame me for self-harming.
Because we're listening to it right now. I may have blocked you on all social media because I want nothing more to do with you. But that doesn't mean everybody else has. So you need to stop. This has gotten out of control and out of hand. And I'm sick and tired of it. You need to stop. Did you turn Facebook Live off? Did you turn Facebook Live off? Yes or no? Did you turn it off? You're not answering me, so I can only assume that you're still recording. I want you to turn Facebook Live off right now. And if you are still recording this while this is going on, that's fucked. Because I didn't consent to that, and I didn't consent to it the first time. Turn it off. And let me know through your words, saying the exact truth, so I know that you did it.